Welcome back to our channel, Reveal and Heal. I'm Ryan.
I'm Kylisha, and today we're going to talk about ways to protect your energy as a woman, as a male, and
As a person.
I want to actually start off by saying something really important. Your energy is your currency, so spend it wisely.
You teach others how to treat you by the way you treat your own essence. The way that you treat your own spirit, your own self, your own body, etc. tells other people how they are allowed to treat you. And that to me is definitely coming up with your own boundaries and making sure you hold fast and strong on those boundaries.
Definitely.
To protect just
yourself,
your peace, everything.
Something I had to learn to stop doing in my 30s or just in general was over explaining myself. So sometimes like, plans didn't work out. I was constantly over explaining myself because I wanted people to believe me. And I was like, why am I over explaining myself? Because they already have this narrative in their mind of I'm lying, or they don't believe me, or it was an inconvenience to them and that's all that matters. Yeah.
But that's a good note in like any relationship, any friendship, male, female, whatever, is definitely being able to come to that person and talk to them about what's bothering you or what issues coming there. I think one of those things a lot of people struggle with is accountability within those conversations. Because if I am coming to you with an issue that's bothering me, I don't want you to flip it and telling me it's all my fault. Like every relationship has two people in it, right? And it takes two, but at this point in time, I'm expressing to you how I'm feeling. So I just want you to listen to me, take it, and then come away with that. And I don't need a huge apology. It's just do better next time, right? We've definitely had to have conversations. And I remember
it's too because like we respect each other, right? So I'm like,
that's the big underlying
it's like
thing.
I'm not gonna sit here and be mad at you and talk to your mom about you or whatever, because at the end of the day, I respect you and I want to get to the bottom of this. And
we have conversations we had, and I remember one time, I can't even remember what it was, but we had a moment and you came to me and you're like, hey, I just wanted to say like this conversation, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I took it back and I was like, I remember talking to you the next day or whatever. I was like, you know what? Thank you for bringing that to my attention so I'm aware and we can move forward and not holding that in or whatever, because I feel like that's how relationships grow, right? And that's how a friendship grows, and that's what keeps it real. That's what keeps it authentic and allows that vulnerability, safe space to form and be there. And I know that's not the whole point here, but a lot of the times I feel like that's what lacks in relationships with men and women. There's that disconnect of being friends and having that accountability and that trust and that vulnerability aspect within it.
This is something I actually learned from you, but was getting everyone that lives in the house to contribute to doing household chores.
Oh, definitely. It wasn't until I actually separated, was on my own, and I implemented the rules within the home the way that I wanted them to be, that now my kids will load the dishwasher, will do the dishes, will vacuum, will do things and help out. I will do their laundry, but they are responsible for folding all their laundry and stripping their beds and things like that. And I think it helps them, like you said, it helps them learn how to take care of a home, how to take care of their space. And I think one of the biggest things that I like to say is like, this is your home. When you live on your own, mom's not there to clean up after you. Mom's not there to like do your laundry, to take care of you. You need to learn to do these things in a capacity that's age appropriate now, so that later on you know how to do it.
We talked about this in our last podcast about setting boundaries with family, friends, even work. Because a lot of the times when different people feel like they can take advantage. When I was working, I would voice my opinion. I don't think this is fair for XYZ reason. And I felt it was very important for me to voice my opinion at a certain point, because I'm like, my workload just kept getting higher and higher and higher, and I was like, okay, so y'all are saving money, not hiring anyone in these positions. I feel like I should be entitled to more money, and that's that.
I literally just had this situation at work because I'm the most senior one on my team, and they're my manager. Every time there's a new project, anytime they're launching something new or they're wanting to implement something, oh, Ryan, are you able to do this? Ryan, can you be on this team? Can you start helping build this? Can you be on this? And in one of our meetings, our national meeting, they were like, oh, so for the BC region, are you able to do this? And I was like, you know what? I am gonna have to respectfully decline. I have too much on my plate and I cannot put this on my plate right now. There's just too much and it's gonna overload me because I keep getting the tasks, and usually I'm like, okay, who else is gonna do it but me? And I'm like, no, y'all are gonna figure it out this time because I can't do it.
Good for you.
I'm just like, I'm drowning here, please help me.
I know you do this often where you just shut down your social media. So you'll shut down your Instagram, you'll shut down anything, or you put your phone on Do Not Disturb just to kind of get that mental break, a social media break, right?
Yeah, I don't normally shut down my social media. I usually just put my phone on Do Not Disturb and I just like don't touch my phone. And
I thought a few weeks ago you shut it down because I was
I
trying
did.
to send you a meme.
No.
I'm like, where the hell did she go?
No, I did shut it down that time because I did need an emotional spiritual break and I shut it down for a week and that for me was like much needed. But normally I will just put my phone on Do Not Disturb and I just generally ignore it. I just generally ignore it. But this time I was like, no, I need to completely detach and just completely shut down. And honestly, it was a good break and it was a good detachment. But I do put my phone on Do Not Disturb a lot. Honestly, it's generally on my Friday night, Saturdays. I don't have the kids. But for me, it's because I need to just sit with myself. And I don't want the outside world coming in. I don't want the distractions. Or if I'm like overloaded with life and emotion or spiritually or whatever, sometimes I just need to sit with myself and feel it out and feel why I'm feeling those feelings
and push the reset button.
Yeah, and push the reset button and like what's going on, and I can come back with a clear sense of mind and discernment.
Other things, I was listening to this podcast the other day and it was a Mel Robbins podcast. I can't remember the doctor she had on there, but she made a reference, the co-host, that we get in this mindset that work has to be hard. And she was like, what I've learned is, in fact, work does not need to be hard, but work should be easy, whatever it is that you're doing, but you need to work hard.
Whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and it just kind of gave me like this click, right? Because she was like, for instance, she's like, was I just talking to you about this earlier?
No.
I just had this conversation with someone earlier today. It was my husband, because I had
okay, he
but it was just like this eye-opener, and she was like, for so long, even our parents, they have this instilled in us, like, work needs to be hard, you need to struggle, and then you'll feel those rewards and it's going to be rewarding. And she's like, for instance, she's like, there is something I physically cannot wrap my mind around. Something to do with finance. So she's like, I teach a course, I'm a professor, and she's like, I still have to ask my students what the difference between this and this are. And she's like, and I felt like I was an idiot because I'm like, I should know this. But she's like, I had to accept, like, this is something I'm not gonna ever remember because I'm not good at this.
Bring this up to me.
And then I thought about it because before, when I was still working, I was doing Excel, and I had never really done Excel before, like basic stuff. But they had me doing X lookup, Y lookup, and they knew I didn't know how to do this before I started. This hard thing where it was like, oh, well, she has to have it hard like we all had it. And it was just this weird environment. And I got to the point where I was like, my husband, if shit doesn't get different, I'm gonna quit because I don't like the way I'm being spoken to. I don't like how they're expecting me to know this, only being in this department for a month. It was just very interesting. The people I thought that were nice, they really weren't nice. I was in like this really weird transition phase, like July, August. I was just like, I feel like I'm not being fulfilled at work. I don't know what's next. I don't know what else to do because I felt stuck. I was like, I went from one department thinking it was going to get better to a different department. I'm not going to say it was good, but the money was better in the new department. But I was like, it just had all these like burdens, and I'm like, I'm getting the Sunday jitters, and I was like, why am I getting, I work from home, like why am I gonna let a job make me feel uncomfortable? And I'm in my own damn house.
Because you got more money, but then you got shitty circumstances.
Yeah.
Like you had to do a trade-off. Yeah. You couldn't have both.
I couldn't have both.
And yeah, I feel like right now, even my own job, like I don't dislike my job. I enjoy it, but I think I enjoy the freedom that it gives me in the sense of, especially now as being like a single mom and having my kids full time and being the main provider, especially Monday to Friday. If they're sick, concerts, anything, that's on me. Extracurriculars, that's on me. Working from home is a godsend because it is my stay-at-home mom life, but with a paycheck that allows me to provide for them, which I never thought I would ever be able to be the parent I generally wanted to be, because I didn't think it was viable for me. I guess COVID godsend in that sense made it viable for me. And in this instance, it's like, I can't even remember what it was like now. The struggle of when the kids are sick, and they're sick all the time during school season, missing work, not getting, bosses being like, well, you can't miss work. I'm like, well, my kids are sick. What else do you want me to do? And at the end of the day, X made more than I. So it was like, if someone's gonna miss work, it's gonna be me because he makes more money than it's gonna be me who's gonna sacrifice. I think now it's that thing where I'm like, I wanna leave for more money, but I like the comfortability for where I'm at and what the perks are that it gives me, right? It's the golden handcuffs. Where do you find your energy leaks the most? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it work? Is it guilt, comparison? Like what makes it leak?
It's definitely comparison. It's definitely sometimes family, because I feel like sometimes I want to do more with my daughters, but like they're not in the mood, or I'm not in the mood. And then I feel like sometimes too, like even with my husband, because he works away so much that he physically is drained. He's been away now for 3 weeks for work. I know he's coming back soon, but I don't even want to bother him. I really want to go down to the US. I'm just being honest. I know that
he's not gonna want to do it.
Next weekend is not the time to say, hey, let's go to the States for the day. I want to go to Trader Joe's.
Right? That's when the discernment kicks in and we gotta pick and choose.
I'm human, so I'm constantly comparing myself. I'm like, oh, should I be getting a breast augmentation because my kids make fun of the way my boobs sit or whatever.
Kids are brutal with everything. Let's just put that out there.
But I don't want to feel old. I know that's part of life, is getting old. It was when I showed my mother-in-law my passport picture a few years ago, and I was like, I look old. And she's like, you look wise. And I was like,
you look wise.
That is telling me I look old.
You don't look old, you look wise.
Another thing that I feel has helped me protect my own energy, I stopped asking for advice and opinions constantly from others, because someone else's goals or what someone feels like my goals should be may not be what my goals are, right? Mm-hmm. So I was asking a lot of people, not a lot of people because my circle is very small, but I would get like different opinions from other people, and some people would be like, yeah, like that's a great idea. And somebody else would be like, well, no, that's a horrible idea. Mm. Even though I knew what my gut, my heart was telling me, I would be like, oh, well, maybe and I trick myself out. I'm like, well, this is a horrible idea.
That like validation of someone to say, yeah, it is a good thing. Until recently, I realized something like I will be sitting on something internally, like trying to figure out a direction or trying to figure out what something means to me or my value to something or whatever. I'll have like an internal question. And I have this friend that whenever I ask them, I don't even ask them, I just hang out with them or I talk to them or whatever, they will inherently just ask me a question that will then incite the answer. But it's like I'm not telling them to ask me this question, I'm not even asking about them, but they just inherently ask me something and then I'll answer, and it ends up giving me myself the answer to their question, but it gives me the answer to my own question that I didn't even realize that I was trying to ask. Mm-hmm. And it's like a weird thing that it happens every single time.
But that's how you know, and I don't know if it was you or Santea that was saying this to me, that's how you know that you're on the right path, is when you're mentally thinking something and no one else knows what you're going through, mm-hmm. but they either bring up a situation they're going through, which is the exact same situation as you.
Well, and that's the thing. They'll ask questions because they want to know the answer to something, but without knowing that I'm trying to find that internal answer. Mm-hmm. But until they ask that question, I'm like unable to find that answer myself. And it's always that. And I'm like, go figure. But that makes a lot of sense. So on the flip side to that, when you're saying I would ask people for their opinions, right? And to get that validation mm-hmm. and like that direction, I've learned to stop telling people things. Mm. And that was another way for me to like protect my energy and to protect my own goals or whatever, is just not telling anybody and just keeping it to myself mm-hmm. and just being like, this is between me and God, because you leak your energy and you don't know whatever else is going to happen, but you tell somebody something and they might have a view on it or jealousy or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And their energy then leaks into it, and one way or another can distort it, sabotage it, change it, shift it. Not intentionally maybe, but like that's how it works, yeah. right? The frequencies and the energies around it. So I've learned to just keep my mouth shut and just be very mindful of who I say things to and what I say or what I share.
I've paid attention to who my secret haters are, I guess. People that I felt were friends, they would always try to talk me out of something that I was so passionate about. Oh, that's not a good idea, or why are you doing that? Mm-hmm. And that's one of those things where it's like, those are the people I've had to prey on those relationships, and they're bringing me down because, and you talked about this the other day where you're like, yeah, but you're letting go of these relationships because you're going up.
It is. You're shedding all the weight that can't come up with you. And I mean, I've been shedding in the last 2 years. I've shed a lot of people, and feels great. I know I'm going in a certain direction. You ain't meant to climb with me. My squad is like 4 people.
4 car. I got it.
Right, here we are. Squad's 4 people, and I don't need a lot of people around me. And I know the ones that are with me have been in my life for decades, for years. They're the real ones. They'll always keep it real with me. They keep me accountable to myself, and like vice versa. And it's just that safety circle, that safe space that everybody needs. So make sure you have at least one good friend that you can keep in that circle, that you trust no matter what, because it makes a huge difference. And I feel like men lack a lot of that.
And they pour into their spouse.
But I think it's so important on both sides that they have, men and women have friends outside of that relationship to lean on for different things. And if you don't have that friend, go get yourself a therapist. But you can't be everything for your partner. You just cannot. You need other avenues. I've tried to do that. It's been on me and I couldn't do it anymore. It's like you can't be the therapist, the mother, the wife, the best friend. You can have bits and pieces of it, but you can't be it all the time. If we as women brought everything onto our husbands, right? They would be too much. It would be too much.
I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to add today.
No, just make your boundaries strong, protect your peace.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. That was so in tune.